Nope. I wake up and my phone's on airplane while I sleep. Um, and then I wake up and I immediately meditate. So I don't turn my phone on. I have usually like the guided meditation downloaded. That's like an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 15
Wow,
minutes.
that's
Yeah,
long.
I do a pretty long. Some days I'll do a 20 or 30-minute one, but the ones that I do are pretty long. So I'll do that. And then I'll at least turn my phone on, but I will go and like make tea. I'll usually like right after turn on, sometimes I'll journal immediately, like things I thought about during my meditation. I'm not like a big journaler like in general, but if I'm like, okay, this was a profound thought, I'll jot it down. Um, then I'll turn on Alexa and I'll make tea and I literally like dance around the kitchen in my room for like a solid 15 minutes. Like it's so much fun. It gets me in the best
What
mood
what
every
type
day.
what type of music? We need to know the genre at least, if not
Right.
if not artists and songs.
I'm a big house music fan, but that's not what in the morning. Sometimes I'll do Kygo,
Oh yeah,
Kygo,
hell yeah.
like Kygo
Especially if you
higher
play the
love.
ones with videos like of like if you go on YouTube and you put Kaigo remixes, there's like an hour of video of like tropical places with Kaigo
Yes, tropical
remixes.
house,
It's incredible.
exactly.
Yes. Okay, okay.
I also love The Weekend. Save Your Tears by The Weekend.
Oh,
It's like one of
hell
my
yeah.
I
The
love The
the
Weekend.
one with the one with Ariana Grande, like their live
Oh,
performance. Ariana's incredible. If you can get me
oh,
to
her
have her on the
voice.
podcast, I would really appreciate it. Anyway,
Right.
but
I don't
yeah.
know her, unfortunately. Um, so I'll listen to those. I'll dance around.
Yeah.
And then I'll like some mornings I work out. I'm not like religious about working out, so it depends on the day. And I usually won't eat until like 10 or 11. So then I'll just
Is
get
this
ready
is
for
this
the day. Yeah.
breakfast two? Because in one of the videos you mentioned breakfast one and breakfast two kind of stuff. Is that
So yeah, so yes, I still do breakfast one and two because my breakfast one is always a fruit or produce, and I like to wait like 20 minutes to let it digest. Fruit, you should always have on an empty stomach. Even whether you follow food combining, I've noticed a lot of different cultures. Even my grandmother, like she knows our grandparents know so much about food. I swear, I'm like, was there like an Iranian like ancient wisdom school? Because like I don't understand, they just know everything. So
definitely?
my fruits always the thing I'm doing differently now is I'm stewing my fruit because it really helps the digestion. So I'll just cook it a little bit with some cinnamon and water, and I'll have that. And then I'll go for something else depending on what my mood is. But I always like to start with like there's something about starting with produce. It's like your body's just fasted all night. It's like a clean slate. I want something very pure to go in first thing in the morning.
Okay, so it's still lemon and water and cayenne pepper and like the vinegar one is still good, and then like a little
That's
smoothie
still
afterwards.
good.
Okay.
Yep, the lemon and kind like it depends. I don't do it every day, but lemon water if is one of the best things to have in the morning. If whether it's with cayenne or not.
Got it. All right. And then what about like when you wind down in the evening? Like what's a good meal to have before you call the night so that overnight things digest properly, etc.
It's whatever you eat, it depends on your diet, but I would say to give yourself at least 3 hours before going to bed to digest your food. So I like to eat, I mean, on a perfect night, I like to finish eating by 7. Of course, when we're going out to dinner, that's not really like a social thing. But I like to finish eating and then go to bed by like 10 or 11 so that I can digest. If I'm like craving something later, I swear tea with like a little cinnamon or decaf coffee or something will curb my hunger. But I like intermittent fasting, like at least 12 hours minimum, but some days 16 between dinner and breakfast.
If you were to go out to a restaurant, what like for dinner, what's the healthiest meal that you can have that is pretty much available everywhere? I'm basically I'm on a mission to get myself in a leaner, healthier way, and my girlfriend loves to go out to
Hmm.
restaurants, and like I feel like the natural thing for somebody who doesn't know shit about this kind of stuff is like a salmon salad or something like that.
Yep.
But what do you think? What would you have?
If salmon is one of the lowest mercury fish, so even I mean, wild fish is going to be your best. If I see wild salmon or like wild cod, I'm like, that's a no-brainer because it's going to be the healthiest thing. If it's not wild, you kind of have to just go based off the rest of the menu. Um, I like to like look, my thing is like, I'll look at a menu, I'll see what foods they offer on any item. Like, let's say there's like a sweet potato something or like a cucumber salad. I'm like, okay, I know they have this in the kitchen. I know they have this in the kitchen. So I'll see the items and sometimes I'll ask them to throw something together, like not too complicated, but you could start with a really basic salad and add on like, can you do like boiled sweet potatoes, add cucumber, add beets, and and you can make this into like a really filling
So
meal.
basically, you
Or, like,
go into the back kitchen and you start making your own meal,
basically,
huh?
basically.
The waiters love you.
It sounds complicated, but it's really not. It's like start with the thing that's most similar, add two or three things. But
Yeah,
I would say like a wild fish and vegetables. But let me give you one tip on vegetables
tell me.
because oils are like a really like kind of make or break thing. And if they're like cooking in high heat olive oil, or if they're using canola oil or seed oils, it's actually very inflammatory.
Hmm.
So if you want to go healthier there, what you could do is just ask them to steam it and then ask for a side of olive oil and lemon and just pour. Having it cold is great, but
Yeah,
when they cook it at high heat, it's when it can, produce carcinogens and toxins. So I like to do that too.
that's actually very helpful feedback right there. And
Mhm.
looks like the tip that I have to give the waiter is going to have to increase if I'm going to ask them to do all these
Just
extra
be
things.
nice and smile and they'll appreciate it.
I will. I actually like one thing that you said in one of your quotes, speaking of food and stuff. You said eating well and exercising is a form of self-respect. I genuinely, it resonated with me a lot because now everything that I'm looking at, I'm like, Iman, do you respect yourself? Should you really be having this? But
In a positive way though,
yeah,
right?
no, of course. No, definitely. I mean, like my
Yes.
mindset was already shifting in the past month. One of my friends were having like a daily 1 hour go walk run challenge and now I'm like, you know what? It's the diet that is like 70-80% of the importance here. So I'm really now shifting towards diet. So there's a reason why I reach out to you is because selfishly I'm really trying to do whatever I can to live a healthier life, and diet is one of them. But tell me a little bit
Mhm.
more about eating well and exercising as a form of self-respect.
I think like we go through so much of life unconscious, we're like walking, we're not paying attention to, we don't even like, we're just putting food in our mouth, we're doing things and our mind really plays tricks on us because we tell ourselves like, just take it easy. You deserve it. Like, just enjoy it, live your life. But like, really, like you have this one body, it's your temple and you really want, I mean, treating it well, like let it serve you the best it can. Like this is supposed to carry you all through life. So you're just doing good for yourself. Like I always tell people like who cares about what you look like then, right? Don't you want to be able to like run around with your grandkids? Don't you want to feel good like when you get older? That's really what it's about. So I think when you shift that, like when I look at food, I look at it like, is this going to nourish me? Like how is this going to like feel in my body? And look, of course I get cravings. Like when there's French fries around, I can't. Like that's my biggest thing. I love French fries. Um, but what I like to have my like unhealthy foods at home because I can find a way. Like I don't care about the calories in French fries, but I don't want it like deep fried in unhealthy oil.
Mm.
Like any fat you eat, just so you know, every like most of your body and most of your cells, like all of your cells are made up of fat. So it actually gets etched into your brain because your brain is made up of so much fat. So when you eat an unhealthy fat, like it becomes part of you. So that's one thing that I'm like a really weird about, but I'll get potatoes and avocado oil and fry them at home, something that's good at high heat, or I'll make like a mac and cheese with like a cashew cheese sauce or something. I'll get my fixes at home. And then when I'm out, I try to eat clean.
Do you have a YouTube video up or TikTok video about the mac and cheese one?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I have to go
I think
find that one.
I might have it on Instagram too, but I definitely have a TikTok.
I,
And my
I'll,
TikTok is under recipes. You can find
I'll
it.
I'll go check it out for sure because mac and cheese is
Yeah.
definitely one of my vices.
Who
Um,
doesn't love it?
so speaking of living longer and healthier, there's a book that I read recently which I absolutely love, and I think it's a very famous book. Have you read Ikigai?
No.
Ikigai. So basically, it's a story about how these authors, I forget the author's name, but there's a place in Japan that has the highest percentage of centennials in like per capita. So like they all find out how are these people living over 100
Blue Zone?
years. Um, is that what it's called? The Blue Zone?
But I think like I'm if blue zone is like the blue zones of parts of the
I
world where
think
people are living the longest and
Oh, so
healthiest.
it's actually, you know what? Now that you say
Maybe.
it, I think that there was a mention of that being the blue zone. But the book is called
Okay.
Ikigai, which is basically purpose, and Japanese people,
Hmm.
they never retire. Well, at least the ones in that island particularly. They don't really retire because they have this purpose and they keep on working until physically they're not able to. And then, of course, like the healthy aspect, what they eat, and then also sense of community, being able to basically go in a village and being able to be of service to each other and helping each other. And so this whole combination of working out, eating well, drinking well is all the signs of, that leads to longevity in life, but most importantly,
Wow.
Ikigai, purpose. I highly recommend if you like to read a good book. It's a short read, a 3 hour audible, but it's a bestseller, so it's definitely very popular. But
I'm definitely gonna,
yeah.
I'm a listener. It's funny, I actually do not like reading, but I love listening. So I'm gonna
Yes.
listen
Yeah,
to it.
no, me too. For me, on my walks, I watch it and I put it on like
Yes.
1.4 speed so it goes a little bit faster.
Oh, smart.
But yeah, so no, Ikigai, Ikigai. Great
Got it.
book. But yeah, so and speaking of which, you have like a little cookbook as well on your website that you can like download. You want to kind of touch base on
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I created like a little quarantine cookbook because people were like, they weren't ordering out, they weren't going out, they didn't know what to do. And it was just supposed to be like comfort, easy meals. And I made it free. You can get it on my website and download it.
And the website is monovan.com, right?
Yes,
All right.
monovan.com.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two things I want to do on a closing note. I don't want to take up too much of your
Mm-hmm.
time. I'm going to do a little rapid fire, just a few questions, but also